Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Today, I am honored to sit and speak with a woman who has not only carved a niche within herself, but also illuminated the path for many. She is a brand that resonates with empowerment and excellence. She is a best-selling author and a dynamic TEDx speaker. She has also earned multiple awards for her entrepreneurial acumen, including the prestigious Leadership and Business Award from the California State Assembly and the California Black Chamber of Commerce and State Leaders. She has also been honored as one of the most influential women in Silicon Valley by the Silicon Valley Business Journal. Her exceptional contributions to the business community have set her apart as a beacon of success. As the founder of the Powerhouse Academy and the Powerhouse Women, our guest has not only created a transformative program, but also sparked a movement. Her mission is clear: to empower women leaders with a compelling message, a powerful movement, and innovative business ideas. She aims to propel them in the ranks of influential women and full-time entrepreneurs, making her an icon in female empowerment. She is ready to share her journey, her challenges, her triumphs, and her vision. A vision that has not only shaped her life, but also the lives of countless others. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Chandra Brooks.
Smarter people than me in their niche or in what they do well.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't want to be telling you what to do. I want somebody who's 10 steps ahead of me.
Yeah.
You know, say, Chandra, I got this lined up, this lined up, this lined up. And this is, you know, I got this. I don't need to tell them how to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you how to do it. I want you to be the expert in your niche. Right? If you come to me and say, Chandra, I know how to automate everything. I can do this for you. I can be your assistant and set up your curriculum in the program. And I can do, you know, great.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to know how to do that.
Right.
I'm good at this.
Yes.
This is what I'm good at coaching. I'm good, you know, strategy. That's what I'm good at. Yeah. I'm not trying to do everything. And we shouldn't in our businesses. Yeah. We shouldn't know how to, I'm not going to build a website. I'm not going to design a flyer, right? I'm not going to produce a podcast. Yeah. I can speak on a podcast. I can give a great interview and I can interview people, but I don't know how to edit it. But some people feel like they want to save all this money, right? Yeah. I'm going to save all the money and I'm going to do everything myself.
Yes.
When no, that's not going to work because it's going to take you hours, take you like 100 hours to learn something when you can delegate it to somebody that it's going to take them an hour to do.
I highly agree. And I think that's one of the biggest things that halts people's progress is they feel like they need to do everything. And were you always like that in the very beginning?
Yeah, I was. It was funny as I launched my business, my first one in 2017. I was still working a very, very high level job, demanding job. And I was like, how do I duplicate myself? And I don't know where I don't know how I knew this. Okay. I really don't. And I seen another woman online. I was seeing coaches, this online world of coaching and online services was coming up. And she had a virtual assistant. And I was like, oh, you know, I need a virtual assistant, but I didn't even know what I was hiring her for. I really didn't. But I hired her. And I said, I'm just going to duplicate what I would do if I was free all day trying to grow this business.
Yes.
My vision, everything from my vision, all my ideas, I'd give to her and she would do it. That's it. And she really, you know, she was new too. I was like her second client, right? And she grew up with me in the business, right? This is the one I was just talking about. Yeah. So she, you know, just kind of did what I told her to do. Right? Yeah. Build a flyer. I have this vision and I want to do this program and I want to offer this workshop, create this time, this link, the payment link, like setting up my website, like all these things. So I did. I've been like that from the beginning. And I don't know if it was just listening to other people or training subconsciously. I didn't know that I learned that. But I was like, I'm going to do it that way. And from that part, I was just like, let me focus and learning from my other coaches, focus on what you do best, right? If not, you're just going to be spinning wheels and trying to learn all these things and you don't have to. Yes. And also when I learned about outsourcing, right? And that it wasn't very expensive,
Yes.
right? To outsource certain tasks, right? But we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
So, and this is what I teach my clients all the time. It's like, wow, I didn't know about that. Like, just because I know, you know, doesn't mean everybody knows.
Yes.
We don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Things that come easy to us does not come easy to other people.
110%.
So that's why it's so important about having coaches and mentors and people that are ahead of you, because you learn these things. Like, I teach my clients all these tools, how to outsource. Like, you don't got to hire Fiverr, hire somebody to edit that for you, hire somebody to create that flyer for you for $10. Yes. Like, you can make things happen without a huge budget. Right? Or figuring or trying to design. I can't even design good on Canva. Okay. And Canva is meant to help people like us that are not design savvy, but it still comes out crappy to me. Yeah. And I know, like, when I see a Canva flyer, oh, that's done on Canva. I know, I can see it. I can tell. So, you know, we don't have to use Canva.
And I like how you said about like having mentors and coaches. I think that's one of the things that people don't take into notice on. Like, you're investing in a lot of your equipment, you're investing a lot of your education, but one of the best things to do is, if you want to do a certain thing, and if your mentor or if you know somebody who is doing that very successful, invest into that.
Yes.
That is probably the biggest and greatest investment you'll ever make.
Oh my God. Yes. I've invested probably about $50,000, $60,000 in coaching. But I've made it back probably tenfold. Because, I mean, when you learn, early on, I hired a visibility coach and a sales coach. Visibility coach taught me, obviously, if you know who I am, I'm very visible, right? I am very visible. I post every day. I was in the hospital last year for like 7 days, and I still posted when I was in the hospital. I didn't stop, right? I don't stop. And so I tell people, like, market every day, like something. We have time to do everything. Yes. Right. We make time to do everything. So visibility coach taught me just how to stay visible. And then my sales coach, if I invested $10,000 into that sales coach, she's taught me how to make $1 million if I wanted to a year for the rest of my life. So is that a return on investment? I think so.
Consistency is one of the things that people just don't do. You know, they start a certain task. They think that if I make an Instagram that says I have a business, that's actually not, and you're not consistent. You're not showing face every single day. And that's one of probably the benefits of like having a podcast is it's religious content. Yeah. It's religious content where no matter what, I am showing face every single day, to the point where if I go to the mall, if I go to a restaurant, people will be like, you're the podcast guy. I see you on your podcast. I'm listening to your podcast. It's like, that's one of the benefits of showing face. Yeah. And every time I have a guest on, I give them an experience, and they walk out of here and it's word of mouth. That's why I was able to do podcasting for over 2 years, because a lot of it is word of mouth. This show, High Value, and my other podcast, I am literally having these people on that I've just met. Yeah. And a lot of people can't do that. They're super scared, like, oh, hi, Chandra, it's nice to meet you. How are you today? So tell me a little about yourself. No. It's right to the point. Like, you and I, it feels very natural. Yeah. And it feels like I've known you for many, many years, because you give off that energy. And that's a skill in itself, to be able to walk into a room and be comfortable in any setting or any group. But were you always like that, or did that take time to develop?
That has taken time to develop, because I'm an introvert. People don't believe that.
I don't.
I know. I'm really, like, if I'm not ready to be on stage or in front of a camera or on Zoom, ready to show up for my clients or a big group of people, I'm at home by myself. I am home by myself, working, studying something in business, or just strategy, or watching reality TV. Because that is my vice, is watching reality TV. But I haven't always, I've been shy person most of my life. And I feel like I would want to be in the background, and I would prefer that, but I feel like I have a purpose, and God's given me a purpose, and I've had to show up for my purpose, right? my purpose is bigger than my insecurities or how I'm feeling I need to be. Yes. So, you know, I'm like, I got to do this because people depend on me. I have to show up. So then these other women or these other people can show up, right? They get courage from me. Yeah. So I feel like it's an obligation for me. So I haven't always been like that. It's really taken practice, you know, because I have a lot of clients that tell me, Chandra, you're so good at interviewing, you know, because I coach them how to find podcast interviews. Yeah. I coach them how to get on stages, all of these things. And they're like, well, I just don't know how to interview like you. I'm like, stop, don't compare yourself to me. I said, what you need to do, I said, I didn't just wake up and know how to show up like this.
Yes.
I said, it took practice. I said, I didn't get better on stage by just by saying one day I'm going to be a speaker. I had to be invited to stages and be very nervous, stutter, make mistakes in order to get better at it. Yes. You know, it's consistency and practice and trial and error and like just doing and staying consistent with it. Like you have to. That's the only way we learn. I've learned way more by doing than reading or watching a video.
And I feel like that's what holds people too, where they want to accumulate all this information. Like the reality of it, if we start, that's what does it. Because I wish you saw what my podcast looked like before I started it. It was awful. Oh yeah. The visual was terrible. The mics were awful. It was just the whole studio was not good. Yeah. And I was like, I started watching other people and I'm like, what camera are they using? What lighting are they using? What's the space like? How are they able to remodel all of this? Like, I have to innovate. I always have to give a certain look. Right. You know, I can never stay the same, but it helped just by starting it and experimenting with things. And I could read all the books. I could network with all these people, but if I don't apply anything, it's worthless. Like I always say, if you're reading a book and you're not applying anything, that book is useless. Right. You need to put it into action. You know who Jordan Peterson is?
That name sounds familiar.
Clinical psychologist is like all over social media. So one of the things that he says is work on your tongue. Practice your tongue when it comes to like obviously us speaking. Yeah. When we're stuttering, when we're saying like, you know, we have to be careful with that. Right. And me editing my podcast, I get to look at that. I'm like, mistake. Capitalize on the mistakes every single time. I'm not the best speaker. I'm trying and practicing every single day. And honestly, being with very successful people like yourself helps me practice because I'm in an uncomfortable situation, meaning I'm sitting somebody who is very high value, you know, so I have to show up at 110% because if I'm shy or if I'm not confident in what I'm going to be delivering here today, you're going to be like, I don't do this is unprofessional.
Or I won't recommend anybody be on your show because they're going to be like, it's going to be boring. Yes. Right? Or I could tell that the person's intimidated and it's just, you're not ready. Yes. You're not ready for somebody like you. You're not ready for me to send you a politician or the mayor or, you know, like these executive directors or different people in this community that I know they're going to walk in very powerful and they're going to give you a great interview. Yes. But if you are not ready, you're not ready, right? You're not ready. So I totally get it. Yeah. Totally understand.
I'm really interested on what sparked your interest in entrepreneurship. What age did it kind of hit you?
I feel like I've been since I was a kid, really interested in entrepreneurship for some reason. I didn't even know it. I just knew when I was a kid, I would really pay attention to small stores and restaurants. And I don't know, I thought I was nosy. I thought I was just nosy because I would really like look and see who's the owner. How did they buy this place? How did they start this place? It's a family. I paid attention to stuff like that. This is a family restaurant. I see the kids working in the background. I see the family. I don't know. I just always been intrigued and inspired by it. Right. So I think like that. And then on top of where I come from, community. I come from, you know, politics and nonprofits and helping the community at a high level and high level positions. And I blended those two together. That's what my first name of my business was, the socialpreneur, right? Social impact, right? With entrepreneur. So that was socialpreneur was my name, was my brand. And then I had to elevate it, right, to the Powerhouse. But I think I've always had that intrigue and interest And I admired it, watching on TV. I'd pay attention. I'd know, like, George Jefferson, he owned the dry cleaning, like that. Things that normal other people probably didn't pay attention to. When it came to people owning a business, I was intrigued by from an early age, and I didn't realize it. I didn't say I wanted to be an entrepreneur when I grow up. I said I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people in some way. So I just was able to blend what I naturally fell into as a career, right? Because sometimes we just kind of fall into things and we end up being there for a long time. Okay, so I had the skill and I was very good at it, and I got a lot of awards, doing what I did. And then I still had this itch to be an entrepreneur, have my own vision. How can I blend the two together? And that's where coaching even helped me do that. Yeah. But I think I've always had an admiration for entrepreneurship and doing your own thing, like just your vision and going after it and creating something that is yours and unique to you.
When you create something with your bare hands, it gives you like this different kind of fulfillment and purpose. You have to show up every day, and you love showing up every day. Like, it is a passion of mine. People always ask me, Daniel, are you burnt? I'm like, no, man, the purpose and the vision is so much bigger than all this. Obviously we get tired, but there's never like a thing where it's like, you know what, I'm going to take a week off. I've never had that feeling, and I'm not sure if you have. No,
I know. And that's the problem. I want to go on vacation. I want to do all these things, but when you work and do things that you feel like you don't need a vacation from, it's really hard to break free from it.
Yes.
It's really hard to break free. I need to learn. I need to do better at that. But I can continue to work. That's why people be like, you need to take a break. You need to take a break. You need to rest. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm okay. It's not that I'm working a lot, like if I'm stressed about maybe some other personal stuff.
Yes.
I'm not stressed from my work because I love it. When you do what you love constantly, it's not work. It doesn't feel like work. That's why I press the issue about finding your niche, like your thing that you love to do, and figuring out how you can monetize it.
Yes.
Right? Figure out how you can monetize it, because then you won't work anymore. You'll just be living your life, making money and being happy. Yeah. Like, so, like, who doesn't want to live like that? Right? Yes. Who doesn't want to live like that? So, I think that it's very important, for us to really find our thing so we can really be happy. Yeah. We're just so programmed to get a job, right? Get a good government job, get a good government job or a good job with benefits, right? And all the vacation pay, all these exciting things that you learn that you need to have to be successful. When that's not it. We're programmed in school to be employees, in college to be employees. Go work for somebody. Why am I going to go work for somebody? I could build my own dream, and I could it's not easy, because it's not for the faint at heart at all. Like, you have to have a certain drive to you and want it that bad. Like, how bad do you want it? That's what I tell my clients. I'm like, how bad do you want it? You don't want it that bad. If you're not willing to go all in every day like I do, like, I'm sorry. Yeah. You have to go in every day. So it's not for the faint at heart. It's not for everybody. So if you want to go 9 to 5 and work a 9 to 5 and come home and that's fine. Yeah. Do it.
Yes.
Do it. But don't come to me to get help, because I'm going to expect you to work as hard as I do.
Agreed. So that's like one of the things that I have. So before I started a podcast, I was going to hire an editor. And the one things that really turned me off was his energy. Very like groggy, just kind of like, dude, it's giving me and it's draining me. Yeah. So he was good at what he did, but wasn't on time with his tasks. So that bothered me and it turned me off. So when I see somebody not willing to show up, who has high energy, who's like passionate in what they do, it's almost like I can't let them in.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things, like an individual wanted to be associated with my media company, right? They were like, dang, I want to be a part of Asset Media. I was like, I want to correlate my podcast with your network. I was like, okay, that's fine. And let's talk. And he wanted to set up this meeting. He showed up 27 minutes late, a meeting that he wanted. Set up, yeah. As soon as we sat down, I said, this is not going to happen. you were late, that a meeting that you wanted. Like one of my principles is never work with somebody who is late in anything. I don't care what it is. Because I have standards when it comes to that, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to bring somebody along and I'm babysitting,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's also being highly selective of the people that you surround yourself with.
For sure.
And I know a handful of killers.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I would work with this person. Oh my God, if I give somebody this task or if I let somebody in, they're perfect for it. What are the other things that you look for when it comes to bringing in somebody into your team?
Oh, well, I think I mentioned earlier, they have to be an expert in what they do, right? But also just have that energy and that drive, just hungry to learn and just let's go, right? Like my business partner with Scrub Life, her name is Samantha. And I took a year before I figured out what business I was going to invest in next. Like what I know I wanted a product-based business. I just wasn't sure what it was. So I just did my research for a long time. What kind of business is going to be pandemic proof, recession proof, isn't going anywhere? Right? Scrubs, medical scrubs. And no, you know, every time I talk to everybody's like, how did you even think of that? Like everybody's mad that they didn't think about it first. Cause I'm not the first person to start a scrub business.
Yeah.
There's so many I coach women that have open scrub businesses. So I coach them right now, but so there's plenty all around the country, but nobody's doing it like me in the Bay Area. Right. So, so I was like, okay, who am I going to bring as a partner? Cause I knew I couldn't run this business alone. Yes. And I have no medical background. I went to school for medical assisting years ago and I never went into that field. Yeah. That's as much medical background that I have. But I needed somebody that had that, who was sharp, who was a hard worker and had a medical background. And I've coached so many women over the years and I can see their work ethic. I can see, you know, what type of people they are. Yes. And I had a client that I work with and I helped her grow her dental training company. And I reached out to her and she was like, yes, let's go. Like she had the money to invest too, and halfway, you know, half and half. We invested, we split it up, and we built it and we grew it. And she works probably, sometimes I feel she works more than I do. Like this girl don't even watch TV. I watch TV. Okay. I need to decompress. You know, I'll work 16, 17 hours a day. Yes. But I'm like, girl, like, do you watch TV? Do you watch anything? Like all she'll do is work and then go home and work some more. Yeah. And so she works harder than me. So somebody that has a great work ethic and does their part. So stays in her lane. Like I stay in my lane and she stays in her lane. So somebody is not controlling, because I can be a little controlling. You know, she's really good. I mean, if I could pick the best business partner, it was her. Yeah. Because she handles all our inventory and orders. Okay. And knows our products. She can say, oh, that's item 17. Da, da, da. I'll be like, well, I don't know. Like ask Sam. I don't know what the item number that is. I don't know what that is. But, you know, with me, I'm business development, sales, and marketing. Yes. That's my job. Stay in my lane. I'm good at that. Yeah. That's what I'm good at. Yeah. And she don't want to step into that. She don't care. And I don't care about that. You know, like we know what's going on, and we run things past each other. So I think like you really have to pay attention to work ethic, because people will get into partnerships with their sibling or with their friend or with somebody that because they're close to them. But do they want it as bad as you? Right? Yeah. Do they want it? Because a lot of people get into partnerships and these people don't want it as bad. They just like, oh, it's a come up, right? I'm going to make a lot of money in it. But no, we have work to do. Yes. It could take us 5 years to get there. Are you willing to put those 5 years of hard work every day? If you're not, you're not a good part of my team.
The instant gratification thing, when they say put a stamp on their business. I started a clothing company. I started this. I started that. Where's my money? Where is it?
Right. Next week.
Exactly. It
right.
takes
One weekend.
time. It's an everyday single thing. And people will see if you're about it if you show up every day.
Yes.
Because if you don't, it's like, oh, you started this, but you're not doing it anymore. That's one of the things that I never want to hear a sentence come out of somebody's mouth. Daniel, are you still doing that podcast?
No, they know I'm doing it because I'm showing face every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the
It's
whole
not a
power
question.
of consistency. One of your businesses, you're consulting. When you're training these women, what are some of the complications and what are the headaches that comes to it? Because a lot of people lack confidence into starting something of their own. I know that's one detailed thing, but what are some other things that people have a hard time dealing with when starting their own thing?
It's the belief, right? The belief that it's possible. If we've never seen it, how do we know that it's even possible, right? So I created this course called Rewrite Your Mental Constitution. So rewrite your mental law, right? Jeez. Your mental law is what holds us back, right? What we know, what we're programmed to know, our culture, the music, what we watch, how we grew up, right? Like who's around us, who's influencing us. That is all our mind and what we know, what we believe, right? So that was a barrier that I was having with a lot of women that I was coaching. Like they had a vision and they had an idea and they wanted to grow it. But I could give you all the strategy in the world, right? But if you don't believe that you can do it, your confidence is low and you've never seen it, you haven't seen it happen yet, then you're not going to do it. Because I've coached many women, right? I've coached many women, gave them everything and they love it and they take it, but then they don't implement it. And they drop off. They're while I'm with them, they're going, but then when our time is up, they're not showing up anymore.
Yeah.
Because one, they need me to push them and make them do it, right? Yes. But they also don't have their own. So I always say, borrow my confidence until you have your own.
Jesus.
Borrow my confidence until you have your own. Get in my speedboat so you don't have to take the paddle boat. And let me tell you, I'm gonna credit these to one of my coaches. She would tell me this all the time. So I've told these back to my clients because it's so true. Yes. I had to borrow her confidence, right, in order to move forward. And my clients have to do with me now. They have to borrow my confidence, right? I didn't coin that, but it's true. It's the truth. They have to borrow my confidence because they don't have their own, right? They have to be able to take it. They have to take it and run with it. And when I'm done working with some women, they tell me, I definitely had to borrow your confidence until I had my own because I didn't have it. Now I have my own and I'm able to run with. It's like passing the baton, right? Yes. It's like you're running, you pass the baton. Okay, there you go, baby girl. Now you can go. Now it's time for you to go on your own and run, right? Because at first it's hard. So rewriting their mental constitution. So it's 5 audio courses, videos, audios that they have to listen to before they start Powerhouse with me. So they can get, and what I've noticed is that it helps them. It's not a cure, but it helps them believe a little bit more that they're worthy to have a successful business. They can create $1 million business. A lot of people don't believe that because they've never seen it. I didn't believe that I could make a certain amount of money a month until it happened. That's why I say application and action is so important. And coaching is so important because you're not going to do it unless I make you do it. And then when I make you do it and you see the results, that gives you confidence. So then you do it again. And then you get more confidence. And then you do it again and you get more and then you're like, oh, wow, this can really happen. Yes. Right. So you're not going to believe until you do. You're not going to believe until you do. So it's so important to do that. Like I can't just tell you, start believing in yourself. Be more confident. I can't force it. It takes action, right? It takes action. So then you can build it, right? And then the building blocks just keep building. So, it's really about, just that's a challenge. It's their mind. It's what's programmed in us is a challenge. And also their I don't know, sorry, I'm hitting the microphone. No, you go ahead, the people around them, the influence of others, a spouse, a friend, just people that we trust and love. It could be a mom, it could be a sibling that we adore, that we respect, telling us, oh, I don't know if you should invest in that. or, like, oh, that industry's saturated. You probably shouldn't do that. Like, or, like, what about this? And just go work and get a consistent paycheck. Like all these things that influences us, right? That's a barrier too.
Yes.
Because we listen to these people, right, that we love. And I tell people, you can respect and listen, but let it roll off your shoulder. Don't only listen to people that have built the thing that you want to build. Why are you listening to somebody who's never built anything? And no disrespect to grandma or mom, no disrespect, but if they've never built anything major, don't listen to their business advice because they are not the experts, but we do.
Even
because
critiques.
We feel right. Yeah. Because even critiques, even because we feel that they're looking out for us and our best interests. So they're like, oh, they love me. So they're telling me. Yeah. You know what they're doing? They are portraying their own insecurities projecting their own insecurities onto you. Yeah. That's what's happening. They don't even know they're doing it.
Yes.
So you can't fault them. You can't be mad when they do this. They're looking, they think they're looking out for you, but they're really projecting their own insecurities on you.
And I think that's another thing where people tell you to relax and chill because they see you scaling. They see your stock is raising and they want you to, hey, chill out. But like, come back here with us where our level is.
Yeah, right. You're getting too high. Come back down here with us.
Exactly. I don't like the whole thing like, oh, like we're better than people. It's like, we're just in different frequencies. We're in different thought processes.
Right.
That's all it is. Like I think when our stock does raise, we want to be able to surround ourselves with people like that as well. When people are, say, draining us or giving us criticisms without any critiques, there's no purpose there. And I feel like I'm starting to see that a lot too when things are escalating, things are raising, and people are kind of like throwing jabs. And it's just like, man, you can be great too. And that's something I like to pass on too. Like you can do some great things too, but you would rather make a comment. You'd rather be on my comments and saying something negative. Is that paying you?
Right.
To watch me every single day?
Exactly.
Is that paying you?
Exactly.
Like do something that's going to give you a higher ROI. Stop watching me work and you get to work. Critiques and criticisms are so different. My mentor will critique me. He'll sit me down and let me know like, hey, you could do this better.
Yeah.
He's not going to pat me on the back, cheer me on, be a yes man. He is critiquing me and it's very challenging and it's very serious. When you were being mentored, do you take some of the practices that your mentor gave you and then do you give that to your clients or do you mix it up into your own little flavor?
Both. Right. I mix it up into my own flavor.
Yes.
Like I said, I've used, borrow my confidence. It all makes sense. Take my speedboat so you don't have to take the paddle boat.
Yes.
If you work with me, you're going to get there faster if you try to do it yourself. Right. So, I've taken in how they've styled their coaching. But I've always been unique and I bring my own style to how I coach. I've been not explained, but I've been described as a mama bear, but but I'm very strong and stern at the same time.
Yes.
Like I'll hug you, but I'll also be like, you better go do this, but I'll hug you at the same time. So, some people like that style, right? It's not just all the time and going hard on them, but bringing my own style to the table, but also knowing what's been effective because I pay attention. I study people and I'm like, okay, that's worked. The way she's done this works. So utilizing those styles and implementing it into my own way of mentoring and coaching, but bringing my own style, understanding that I'm still a brand, right? So I like that brand of being known that I'm going to hug you, but I'm also going to push you at the same time. Like I want you to be scared of me, but not too scared of me, right? I want you to know, I want you to have that. I feel you need to, as a mentor or coach, you need to kind of have that little, like they're a little scary to me. Like if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I feel like they're going to come get me. Like they're going to be hard on me. They're not going to just let it, it's okay, do it next time. No, you need to show up. And I told you to do that last week. You need to show up with that. Like, I want you to be like, I got to get this done because I'm meeting with Chandra tomorrow. Because it's to benefit you, right? It's to benefit you. So it's just part of my brand to be unique. And I always tell people, like, don't copy my style, even though I've been copied a few times. And it's okay. I don't mind. Like, I think it's flattering. Copy me all day. You can't be Chandra. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Like, people have taken my curriculum that have gone through Powerhouse and called it something else, right? They take my style. They take my ideas. I'm like, go ahead.
Crazy,
You'll
right?
never do it like me. It's okay. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But some people really get stuck and they hold their ideas back because they're like, oh, I don't want to put that idea out there because somebody's going to steal it. And I've gotten that too from people, but hesitation about moving forward on a vision because they don't want to put it out there. Because I always tell people, you don't need a website. You don't need anything yet.
Yeah.
Business cards, whatever people think they need for a business. I tell people you don't need all that. Yes. Right now, social media, you got a billboard of millions of people every day that you can reach. Start talking about that thing.
Yes.
That's it. You don't need to be selling it. You don't even need to be selling anything right now.
No.
Build your brand to be known for something. What do you want to be known for? Start talking about that. Yes. That's all you need to get started right now.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to put my ideas out there because somebody's going to steal it. I'm like, do you know you have Burger King, McDonald's, In-N-Out Burger, Wendy's on corner, diagonal from each other, okay? They're multi-billion-dollar companies.
Yes.
And they're all making billions of dollars. Yeah. Does it stop them from moving forward? Does it stop that mom and pop burger joint down the street that everybody loves because it's a mom and pop and that they make their stuff a specific type of way? That's why people go to them. Yeah. And they're $1 million company. You can, it's what's your niche and what's your unique factor? Yeah. What's going to make you stand out from all these burger joints, or all these coaching industries? What makes my scrub business stand out from the scrub business that's been here 30 years? That's on Bascom Avenue in San Jose. I figured that out. I studied them. I know what to do differently, right? I'm not them. Yeah. So, you have to study and you have to know, right? And you have to stand out. Yeah. You have to be different than everybody else.
Yeah. And I always said that too. Like I was just telling my brother not too long ago, I was like, I think I have a very, a big advantage over people who are in my space because there's competition, Yeah. Other people have podcasts, other people are creating content, so on and so forth. And these people are very, very talented, very talented. But the one thing that I have over them is a killer mentality, meaning my former competition in my last profession where men would look at me dead in the eye and say, I'm going to kill you. And how did I react off that? Ready. So one of the advantages that I have is I have a killer mentality. I'm able to do the extra. It makes me stand out because you're posting seven clips. Okay, I'll post 14. Right. You know what I mean? It's like whatever you think you're doing, I'm going to be doing more. Exactly. Like that's always been my thing. And I still see that, but when I see somebody have better visual, I'm like, ooh, what camera is he using? What lenses is he using? I'm going to capitalize on that. Yeah. And I know some people who are in the production space when it comes to delivering people's content, and they'll like, one of their programs is like, oh, we'll do a podcast and I'll provide you 7 clips. I'm like, oh, how do I do it better? I'm gonna do a podcast, give them a podcast, give them 40 clips. Yeah. And they're like, oh, because how many days are in a month? 30, 31, depending on the month. Okay, you have a month's worth of content. Every podcast you do. And what, you want to do it weekly? Oh my God. Gems every single day. Yeah. And what is everything nowadays?
So worth. It's content. It's all about content. Video content at that too.
How does it feel knowing, because like you said, you studied your people in your niche as well. Does it feel kind of strange knowing that they're looking at you too?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not strange. I just, I try to show up. Like I try to stay 10 steps ahead. Yes. Right? Because I know I'm being watched. I know that people are coming right behind me. People are on my heels, right? So I'm a trailblazer, and I always have been, and I've had people prophesize. I'm not like a super religious person, but I've had people like say, you are meant to impact millions People are watching you,
Yeah.
and you are a trailblazer, and you have to make sure you understand that you have a responsibility, right? I knew this, but when other people tell me this, I'm kind of, okay, it makes sense. But I do, like, I really feel I have a responsibility to stay ahead of the game. I have to continue to be introducing things, right? So it's a responsibility. Yes. I don't feel weird at all. Keep watching me. I know, I have people that don't comment like anything that I do that reach out to me. Chandra, I've been following you for a year or 2 years. Now I'm ready to work with you. Now I'm ready to pay you this amount of money. I know you're expensive. That's why I haven't even reached out to you. So now I'm ready because I've been saving my money and you're on my vision board, right? Like, so I don't mind but I know they are, right? Even about going live, like sometimes I go live and I might have 1 or 2 people. People don't want me to know that they're watching me. And I know this. That's crazy. They come watch me later. Because I know they come watch me later. They will scroll past me. I know this because people be like, oh, I watched your live. Like, I didn't even know you watch my stuff. Right? Everything that I'm doing, like people will tell on themselves, when they see me live and in person, and they'll be like, oh, I see you doing this and this and that. I'm like, oh, you don't even comment or like what I'm doing, but you're telling me that you do. Okay. Like I don't get bitter. I just pay attention. I register it. I get it. Not everybody's. I scroll past a whole lot of things that maybe is good stuff, but I just scroll past it because I'm not like liking. And I can't expect everybody else to do the same thing. Yeah. Okay. But so I know that I'm being watched very, very, very closely by all kinds of people. And that's what I tell my clients. Show up, because I'm telling you, you never know who's watching you. Who's watching you. And I shared this with some of my clients recently because I've been out of the community. Like, you've seen all my awards. You've seen the accolades that I have, and you've seen the things that I've done. Yeah. I've been a community leader. I've done a lot of things in the community. But when I started my business, I kind of veered off to focus on being an entrepreneur, to focus on my own purpose. Because I was leading women. I was working with women. I was mentoring women. I was part of women commissions. I was part of a lot of women stuff, impacting women. But it was just a lot of red tape, a lot of drama. I'm going to do it my way. That's where Powerhouse came from. Okay, so I created Powerhouse Academy, doing it my way. And about monetize. There's nothing wrong with women making a lot of money so then we can give back to our communities. Because we can have a voice, a loud voice, marching, but broke. We can't put any money behind these movements or organizations because we don't have any money, because we're struggling. So my whole focus with Powerhouse is 1 foot in a profitable business and 1 foot in your community and in politics. That is the best way to be the most impactful. So, teaching them that and knowing that. And so I'm not at every event. I'm not a part of all. There's women like me who are at every gala, community gala, every function. They're invited to all these things. I'm not in that circle anymore. Yeah. But recently, and I can't disclose exactly what it was, I was invited to a table with all these women as Chandra Brooks, because I created a name before I left the community that I still have because I'm still visible in what I do. Yes. Now I'm known as an entrepreneur. I'm known as the Powerhouse. So I'm invited to this table still of very impactful initiatives or things that need to get done in the community because of my brand and because I show up regardless of likes, regardless of views, regardless of followers. I don't have a huge following on Instagram. I don't need it. I don't even press it. Like, I won't even pay for it. A lot of people pay to have those numbers. Crazy. Right? A lot of people pay to have those numbers. So when you have big numbers, that doesn't impress me. Like, if you're not making any money, I don't care. Exactly. Oh my goodness. I don't care about how many followers you have if you're not making any money. I always say this. I use social media as a business. I don't use social media to be seen. I use it to be paid. Exactly. And a lot of people, they kind of see like, oh my God, look how many likes I got. Look how many views I got. Yeah.
And what though? Like, what are you getting out of it? Because
Exactly.
at the end of the day, if you do not have any influence, if you don't have any money, you can't change anything.
Exactly.
And that's
It
what
doesn't matter.
people have like a negative connotation towards money, where it's like money is the devil, money is this, money is that.
No.
If you use it the wrong way, yeah, it could be. But if you
Exactly.
use it the right way with purpose,
Right.
it could do beautiful things.
Exactly.
When you are studying these people, what are you looking at the most and things that you can capitalize on? Competition is so good because it keeps us on our toes and it keeps us innovating all the time. But when you get stagnant, you're done.
You have to be paying attention to your competition. But you also I tell people, stay laser focused, have tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Because then it's fine. Like they're going in their lane and you're going in your lane, right? You have a goal. You can't really be paying attention too much to what they're doing over here. You have to stay so laser focused because your vision is your vision, right? Your vision, that wasn't given to you by accident. You didn't come up with that big vision for nothing.
Yes.
Like he didn't place that in your heart, in your gut, in your mind, like for you to just sit on it and then study what this other person's vision is. You have your own vision. You stay on that vision, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like, stop worrying about what these other people are doing. It's good. I tell people, like, it's good to look, in the beginning and seeing how they're moving, because I tell people, like, when they think like, oh, nobody's doing what I want to do. Yes, they are. Like, I've seen somebody selling poop on a piece of wood on YouTube. So if she could sell dog poop on a piece of wood, and people are buying it, and that's how she makes her living, you can sell the thing that we're trying to build. So I tell people this all the time. So like, go look at your competition for a second, see how they're posting, see how they're moving, and see that, okay, that's how they're doing it. That I'm gonna show up that way. But I'm gonna do it this way, and I'm gonna do it a little bit better, right? And then just go. Just go. Like, we're so worried about how she's doing it, how they're doing it, I don't even know who does what I do. Like, I don't even know. Like in the scrubs, there's women competing with me. I know they're competing with me. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I think it's funny, like it's hilarious. And like I'll laugh at it with other people and I'd be like, look at this girl, like what she just did. Like she just copied exactly what I just said, or she just doing what I just said, and it's all good. I'm not even mad. Yeah. I'm not mad at it. It's flattering to me. Like, I know that you're watching me, and I know, like, I'm a trailblazer. That's what I am, and I always will be. So I will always be copied. I will always be so people will always duplicate me. Yeah. But I think it's very important to know in the beginning who our competition is, but stay very tunnel vision. Yeah. Because if we say, oh, she did that, I got to go do that too. Oh, he did that, I got to go do that too. Like, no, we're going to get off our game, because maybe that thing that they did is not meant for you to do. Stay in your ideas and your vision. It's meant for that. Because, we feel like, oh, I got to interview football players. Because he's interviewing football players, I'm going to go interview football players too. No, who do you want to interview? Who do you see as the most valuable out there? What do people want to hear? What do people want to see? What proof do you have that, oh, when I interview these people, this is where I get the most views, right? Interview more of those people where you have the proof, right? I have like in the scrub business, people would say, oh, go to clinics and go to hospitals. And I did all that. Okay. I did it. I had people blasting to every hospital and clinic in California. Okay. That didn't work. Right. Once I found out what worked, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to stay in my lane. Yeah. All right. I'm going to be known as the scrub business that serves this group, this kind of business, this kind of organization, this kind of institution. Yeah. And I'm gonna stay in my lane, because there's billions of them. So why do I need to serve everybody? I don't need to serve everybody. I don't need to be online and selling and competing with Amazon, competing with Fabletics, competing with all these high level scrub, brands. Yeah. I'm gonna stay in my lane and do this industry. Scale and that. Make $1 million and scale that.
I was listening to an interview that you did, and this was a powerful message that you gave, where you were saying when you became pregnant and a lot of your family was writing you off. I know a lot of people, when they pursue their ventures, they always like to prove people wrong. But I kind of changed that philosophy where it's like, it's about proving yourself right.
Yeah.
So within yourself, where you had so many people doubting you before you even started all your ventures, and now you're a walking asset.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel?
It feels good. But I don't know. I don't think about it every day, but I also feel like every time somebody challenges me or they doubt me, it fuels me more than any compliment that I've ever gotten, any award that I've ever received. When people tell me I can't do something, I want to do it even more. Right. So, it feels good now. But I don't like to be put on a pedestal. I don't like people to think that, oh, Chandra's a superstar of the family, or like she's better than me because she has all these awards. I leverage this stuff and I show this stuff because it helps me get opportunities that help other people. Like, it's good that you've seen everything that I've accomplished because it makes you want to interview me, right? It makes people want to put me on their stage. And so then when I'm able to get here in this position, I'm helping more people because people are going to hear my content and people are going to get motivated and inspired to take action and move. That's all I care about.
Yes.
I leverage those. I leverage the awards. I leverage my position. I leverage my authority. I leverage that to help more people. That's all I care about. I don't care about getting another award. I don't care about like any of that stuff. I don't care about being a celebrity. I don't care about being like, oh, Chandra, I want to take a picture with you. Okay, take a picture with me. Like but I'm not like, ooh, they all want to take a picture with me. They all love me. No, I want you to say, Chandra, you inspired me. You made me want to go start my own business to help my family. I've had this one client. She was from the Philippines. She was making $9-10 an hour, maybe at childcare agency here in San Jose. Watching me for a long time. I didn't know she was watching me. And I used to work for that agency as the development director. She was a childcare provider. We provide subsidized childcare for low-income families. So she respected me and admired me even as I was in that role. Right. And then I transitioned. She followed me on social media and seen all this stuff. She called me one day and she goes, Chandra, I want to join the Powerhouse Academy. I gave her a super discount, probably like 75% off, because she called me and was just like, I could hear it in her voice. She wanted it. I let her in, let her watch every video and all this for a super discount. This woman has 25 awards worldwide right now. She was making $9 an hour. She's been able to help her village in the Philippines because of the impact. She's written like 5-6 books, right? She's like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I do what I do, right? Because my vision, and because I took action off of the responsibility that God gave me, probably had her in mind. Because it was going to impact more than just me. It's about the trickle effect. Who is this going to help? How many people is this going to impact? When Anna Maria was able to come to me and get all this skill to believe in herself, she created a whole Filipino online community of over 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And they're doing community service monthly together as a Filipino community. She created that because she finally believed in herself. She wrote these books because she finally believed in herself. She got all these awards and accolades because she finally believed. She felt she was a leader. But all she knew was, let me go get a job in childcare and do it that way. That's all she knew. Now she's like at a whole nother, she has way more awards than me. I'm like, you had 0 when we met and now you like surpassed me.
Yeah.
So I think it's more about that, it's more about, keep watching me and watch me and watch me and watch me so you can do more, so you can make more impact. Yeah. So, I appreciate, and it's really not about like showing people I told you so. Like that one uncle that doubted me in the beginning and said, you're going to be on welfare and continue to have babies. That's cool. but he knows what I'm doing now, and that's fine. I don't rub it in his face. I don't need to rub it in his face. But, it's really more about the impact, rather than I told you so.
Yes.
I'm just doing what God told me to do.
Yeah. And it's beautiful that you changed the trajectory of your life, but it's a weird feeling when you're also giving it back to others and then they scale everything that they're doing. When you just lend a hand, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
It is. That's all worth it. So I love to share that story of very specific stories that I have of things that have happened just like that.
Yeah.
Right. It takes a certain type of woman, to work with that's going to go there. Right. Like you can just feel it. You just know. Yeah. I just know. I know when somebody's serious and when somebody's kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that I've learned when it comes to like saying having a service-based business, there's like 3 components when it comes to the halting of executing when it comes to a project. 1 is finances. They may not have like, say, their finances in order. 2, they have to consult with their significant other, whether it's like, oh, I have to like see if my wife or my husband or so and so forth is like okay with me investing. And the 3rd, like you said, they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in their vision. And it's tough when you hear it and they're very passionate. But when it comes to the investment part, they're like, oh, I thought this was going to be free. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you know how much all this stuff has cost? Like, this is a big investment on my end.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I'm going to be providing this service and solving your problems and giving you all this product and content, you're expecting that for free? Oh, it's because I'm a nice guy. You want to take my kindness for weakness. Do you have any experiences in those?
Oh, yes. So many. So many. It's really hard to even think of specific stories or anything. But yeah, for sure. Like people really don't understand the value when it comes to how much I've invested in myself, right? And how long it's taken me to not only learn it, apply it, test, measure, make mistakes, deal with a whole bunch of crap to get to this point, right? You don't realize, right? But I like to educate. That's why I'm always educating. It's like, yeah, I'm expensive, right? I might charge this amount, but don't look at the initial investment. Look at the long time value that it's going to bring you. So like I mentioned earlier, if you're investing, my Powerhouse Academy is only $8,000, right? So you join my $8,000 Powerhouse Academy, which a lot of people be like, oh my God, it's so expensive. But I'm like, if I'm going to teach you how to make money over and over again for the rest of your life, if you have 30 more years of your life, like I tell them, if I teach you, because I'm going to give you the skills to make at least $100,000 a year, at least more in this business. 100,000 times 30, you're going to make a lot of money, okay? If you apply and do everything I tell you to do, right? So don't you think that's a return on investment? So I teach this, and I'm always talking about stuff like that. So making people understand in that way and breaking it down, because a lot of people don't understand it. So I get that all the time. People want the hookup. People want free stuff. I've gotten burned a lot. I've gotten burned a lot by people that I've given, like the Anna Rita was one of a kind because she really did everything. But you think about where she came from and you think about like she had to fight for everything that she ever wanted. So that little amount that even though I gave her like almost 75% off, it was a lot of money to her. Right. So she valued that. A lot of people don't value things. Right? They don't understand that my skill is of value to you because you don't have it. Right? So you don't understand, like you feel like I should just give it for free to you. No, I'm not. I'm not. I've had that. People really expect. People have really high expectations. They're like, okay, how much you charge? Oh, I didn't know it was that much. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? If I'm going to teach you how to do this, you think it's for free? I didn't ask my mentor to mentor me for free.
Yes. My
coach to coach me for free. No, because I know what they've invested in themselves. Like I don't ask my clients or anybody who invests in me if I'm not investing 10 times as much as in that.
Jeez.
Right? So if I'm saying $8,000, I better be spending at least $25,000 on a coach myself.
Yes.
Right? Because I've been there, done that. I'm going to continue to invest more and more and more at a higher level to get to a higher level. Yeah. Right? So I get that all the time. People want my service. I come from that though. And that was hard, transitioning from community volunteer, because I was sitting at tables, on boards, on commissions. That was all free. I wasn't getting paid for any of this stuff, but it was taking all my time away from my family, right? Away from my family. And, it was just time and energy that I was exhausted. I was doing it for free. So I come from that world. So coming from that world to monetizing was hard for me to shift, because my Powerhouse Academy, at first, when I created it with my coach, she was like, okay, you're going to price this at $5,000. This is in 2017. And I was like, what? Nobody's going to pay me that, Shamika. Yeah. And her name was I was like, nobody's going to pay me that. She was like, Chandra, have you read your resume? Yeah. Have you looked at your bio? Why wouldn't anybody pay you that much? It just has to be a certain type of woman that's going to pay you that much. Yeah. It depends on how much they value that goal at the end. And I was like, no. She was like, well, how what's comfortable for you? I said $1,500. So my first Powerhouse Academy was $1,500, because that's all that could roll off my tongue.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't say $5,000 and be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
That's taking time. Now I could tell somebody, okay, Sean, how much does it cost to work with you for the whole year? I could say $30,000, like it easy. I could say it easy now. Like before, I couldn't. That it couldn't even roll off my tongue, because I didn't believe either. Yeah. I had to do all these years of proof, show and prove, get the results. Mm-hmm. Right? I had to get the results. So being able to show the value, right, in what I do, and being, and then also getting the results have made me more confident in my pricing, to where when people do ask me for free, I don't laugh at you, but I'm like, look, this is what I do. Yeah. This is my job. This is my business. This is my livelihood. Yeah. This is my livelihood. So just like you have a job and you have a skill, and you want me to teach you how to monetize, would you want somebody to ask you to do something for free? No, you wouldn't. Yeah. So don't ask me.
People need to change their mindset when it comes to looking at things in a cost, but rather looking at it as an investment.
Yes.
So when COVID happened, gyms are shut down. Mm-hmm. And I love to train my body. And I was like, oh, they can do this again. So what I did, I was like, oh, I'm going to invest in a gym in my home. So my whole garage, there's a sauna. There's all these machines in there where it's like, I don't need to go to a public gym. Why? Because very unreliable. Where, they could shut it down whenever they want now. Yeah. Just seeing that. Mm-hmm. When somebody asked me when they walked in there, like, dude, how much does all this cost? I was like, I don't look at the cost. I look at the investment that it gave me back. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, it gave me my health, which is my greatest asset. Every time I purchase a book, it's the same thing. I don't look at the cost. I'm like, what is this going to give me back? Just like how we were talking earlier, you have so many accolades. You have so many accomplishments. And usually when those come, there's a lot of failures and a lot of hiccups. What's one of the biggest stories when it comes to failure that almost made you want to stop?
There's so many. Trying to think of just one. I think like even doing things, and this is where consistency comes in, why consistency is so important. I was doing last year, and this was just last year, I was doing brunches at the Capitol Club once a month. And this is a model that was brought to me with another person that wanted to partner with me, and she wanted to come in and help me. It was a lot of energy, right? She was like, I'm energy when I have to show up like this, but regular, I'm very boring. I'm very boring, okay, to be around me. I could be very boring. But she's like, hey, and she has like just pep in her step and energy and just crazy and wild. And I love it. I loved it because it was the opposite of me. And so she partnered with me on these brunches. She had the idea. She's like, you need to do live events, Chandra. People need to feel your energy. People need to be around you. Yeah. And so I was doing them, and I did them for about like 7-8 months. And we would close like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 sometimes a brunch into Powerhouse Academy. And I stopped because I was bored, and that's a lesson that I had to learn. And now picking that back up, I don't know if I'm a place where I want to do that, right? Because I have the scrub business and I want to focus more on this right now. But I wish I didn't stop because I didn't do it long enough. In my head, it was long and I was tired of it. I'm like, it just wasn't feeling good to me. Even though, we were closing, having consistent sales every month. And we knew that if we got a certain amount of people, our ratio, we were going to close, we were going to hit that goal every month. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good. I go off of feeling. It has to feel good. But I could have fixed that. As an entrepreneur, and I was the boss. I could have fixed it, but I just fizzled it out. I just kind of was like, let's stop. I don't want to do it next month. I'm over it. And that's a mistake. So being consistent, doing something longer than you feel like it. that is a lesson I've learned for myself, is like, even when you don't feel like it, you got to keep going. You got to just stay on it. Like, because if I would have kept doing it, right? It's just about branding itself too. It's like, oh, Powerhouse brunch. I want to go to the Powerhouse brunch. Like, everybody wants to go to the Powerhouse brunch. If I would have kept it going, right? So stopping that is a regret, right? I think that even just in the community roles, maybe not running for office, but I think there's a time and place for that type of stuff, maybe later on in life. But I think spending money on things that I didn't need to spend on, right? Investing in programs or people that I probably didn't need. Yeah. But because maybe somebody else told me I should do it, I did it. I've wasted a lot of money. On crap. On crap. But it's, it happens, right? It happens, so I think that, and there's really not a whole lot. I'm going to think about these later. I'm going to figure it out later. But entrepreneurship is about making mistakes and then figuring out, learning, okay, I'm not going to do that again.
Yes.
Right? That's it. Yeah. That and figuring out what works.
Yeah.
So I made so many mistakes, like over and over and over and over again, where they're just like micro mistakes. But I'm like, scrap that. Let's do it this way, right? But the big mistake too is the brunches. I should have kept on it, right? I should have stayed consistent. But my own ego, my own pride, this is my company, right? So pride is a huge barrier for people. You have to get over yourself. Right? And maybe you don't have all the answers. Maybe you need to listen to other people. Yes. So stop trying to do everything yourself, trying to figure out you don't know everything. Right? And it's okay. Yeah. Right? So my own ego of saying, this is my company, this is my business, and this is how I want to do it. When others were like, no, Chandra, I think we need to stay focused. Yeah. So me not listening to people, that's a huge mistake. Yeah. We got to listen to people. Like we have to. We have to take people's advice of people who've done it before. Right? People who know a little bit better, it's okay to learn from them. Yeah. So I think like those are some mistakes that I've learned from. But I have so many. I wish I documented more and I had a better memory because I could tell you probably some more stuff. But those are pretty significant ones to me.
Yeah. And with a lot of mistakes come with a lot of gains as well.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Within all your accolades, how do you stay grounded? Because something that I've noticed when it comes to entrepreneurship, even in my experience in my last profession, when people are applauding you, complimenting you, saying all these nice things, sometimes you believe it. Mm-hmm. And when you believe it too much, that's where you get humbled. Yeah. And that's how it was for me. everybody was telling me how good of a fighter I was, how fast I was, how strong I was, so on and so forth. And then when I believed it, thought I was, oh my God, the next upcoming guy, then you get humbled by thousands of people very, very badly. So how do you stay grounded?
When I have months where I don't make a whole lot of money, right? When people just think that, oh, you're balling, or Chandra got it like that, or, can I borrow all this money, Chandra, or can I do this? Can I do that? I'm like, you really think that I just got like free flowing money coming in all the time? Do you know some months I made $0 because I had to focus my things over here, or I had to make some adjustments or move. Like, there's months I didn't make any money. There's months I made a lot of money. But those months humble me. Those times, or when people like are praising me or like, oh, you're so successful. I'm not there yet, to me, in my eyes. Yeah. So that's what keeps me humble too. Like, you tell me all day that I'm amazing. Like, I didn't even think I was amazing 7-8 years ago, when my resume was already, I had already great resume, when I first started my business. But I'm not where I want to be. I'm still not there. But that's what really grounds me, is like, people really think that entrepreneurship, or just because you see all these highlights online, and I've talked about the amount of money people can make, the amount of money I've made at times. I don't really flaunt that a lot, but people just assume. People think I'm a millionaire, and I'm not. I tell people, no. I've had 3 people like ask me, are you a millionaire? You're a millionaire, huh? Like, you really think I'm a millionaire? I love it though. I love that you think that, like, I love it, but I'm not. So. This is reality, y'all. Like, I live in Silicon Valley. Okay. Yeah. I live in Silicon Valley. You have to be a millionaire. A millionaire is like, you getting by. Yes. You're just barely getting by. Yes. I mean, you have to make a lot of money to live here. Yeah. But that humbles me, my kids, my family, like life situations that I go through life just like everybody else. I had a son who was in prison for 6 years. He just got out 2 years ago. And I don't hide that. I want people to know I'm a real person. I'm Chandra Brooks from Eastside San Jose. Okay. I had a son who went to prison, right? I suffered for those 6 years as a mother while building my businesses. I tell people, like, don't give me any excuse of why you can't, because life is gonna life all the time. There's always gonna be a situation going on in your life where you're gonna say, oh, I can't do it right now because my baby toe is broken, or my kid's in college, or my kid's in high school. It's always something, right? These are the excuses I hear all the time. Mm-hmm. Oh, my son's in high school. I'm gonna wait till he graduates, then I'll start the business. Or then, oh, now he's in college, so then I'll start when he's out of college. Like, it's always something why people don't move forward on things. But honestly, those things are fear disguised as logical reasons, right? That's what it is. It's just fear, right? Yes. So I think like that humbles me, is like really real life stuff. It's like, you don't even know. Like, you think you have me over here on this pedestal. Like, I've been separated through my husband, almost getting divorced. I've had my son in prison. I would have to travel back and forth to Atlanta and take care of him. He's trans too, dealing with his transition, like all these things. Like, I'm a human being. Yeah. I'm a human being. So all that stuff is like, it doesn't make me immune to it at all. Like, this stuff takes hard work. And no, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not balling out of control. Like, if I was, you see me on a yacht somewhere once a month. And I'm not, okay? Like, this takes a lot of money. I always reinvest. I reinvest. Yeah. I'm not out spending the money. I don't shop. I don't go shopping. Yeah. I don't do any of that. I reinvest because I believe in the vision so much that I'll do all that later, even though I'm not young like that to say that. But I also just believe like everything's going to happen and I'm fine. Like, I don't care about shopping. I don't care about all that right now. Yeah. But that type of stuff humbles me. is, and I like to be very real with people when they ask me that type of stuff. I really don't try to pretend that I'm balling.
Yeah.
I really don't, because I'm not.
I always let somebody know too, like I haven't bought a pair of shoes since like high school.
Right? Yeah.
Like it's the reality of it.
Yeah,
Like, like clothes shopping stuff. I'd rather put my money towards something that's going to make me back more money.
Right.
It's like whether it's a new phone, how am I going to use this phone to make money? Or is this camera or this laptop? What's some sort of investment that I'm going to make that's going to be able to pay me back? I know entrepreneurship is tough. I know life is tough. Life doesn't care about nobody, and it will come hit you whenever it wants. I've heard this story when it comes to, like, say, entrepreneurship and marriage, that it is very, very difficult. How do you keep that balance? Because marriage and your significant other requires a lot of attention. Businesses require a lot of attention. How do you balance the both of those?
It's very tough balance. Like, to be married to somebody like me is not easy at all. That's a reality that I had to face too. Being separated from my husband. We've been separated almost 2 years now. I didn't realize how long it was, but we are really trying to work on it now and come back together. But I had to appreciate him too for dealing with me, like really dealing with the times where I didn't make any money. He had to take care of all the bills. And I just was like, okay, he just did it, like because he's a provider. He always has. Yeah. He always has been. So, now being able to see how it was, I'm able to humble myself a little bit more too and understand my part in it. Like, you really have to look from the lens of the other person, because we expect our spouses or our other significant others to be as ambitious as us. Why? Why don't you want to start your own business? Like, why are you working for that? Why don't you do it yourself? Like, you can do that yourself. Like, you can make money. And not everybody wants that. And we want to force that and project that on other people. And we have to understand, maybe you are the ambitious one in the family. You are that person. Let that person do their thing too and be them. Right? And who they want to be. Maybe if they do get inspired, maybe then they will start their own business. But pushing it. So, understanding that he is a 9-to-5 person. He loves his job. Understanding that and not pushing that or expecting him to see my drive and understand that. But balancing it, you have to really see it from their eyes. Like, I'm go all the time. Like, I need to be able to shut it down and spend time with him. But communication, it's like, what do you want from me? Yes. I know I am at 10 all the time, okay? When it comes to business and growing my business. What do you need from me to make this marriage work? If you want it, you got to communicate, right? You can't just assume that person needs to support you, right? Like, they see me working, they should just support me. No, they want your time. They want your energy. They want you. They don't care about that damn business. Like, I could scrape my whole business and my husband wouldn't care. My husband doesn't love me because I'm the powerhouse. He loves me because I'm Chandra. Like, so he don't give a damn about any of this stuff. Like, scrap it all. I don't care. I want you. So even like when I got sick last year, they found 15 tumors inside of me in my small intestine last year. I woke up July 5th in excruciating pain. I couldn't even stand. I couldn't sit. I drove myself to Kaiser. They ran every test possible. Sent me home. I went in the morning. They sent me home about 3 or 4 o'clock. We can't find anything. We don't know. They gave me Vicodin and muscle relaxers. So I went home like around 3, still COVID. Nobody can go into the hospital with me or anything. So I went home. I got picked up, was laid in the back of the truck on the way home, still in pain. The Vicodin didn't work. Nothing worked on me. They had me on pain meds. It wasn't strong enough. So I went home and I was just throwing up, rolling on the floor. I'm like, I got to go back. An hour later, I went back to the emergency room. And they ran more and more tests. They just elevated the tests. Nothing still. They couldn't figure out what was going on with me. They had me in the hallways. It was just the hospital was packed. At 1 o'clock in the morning, they said, we're going to send you home. We're going to send you home, honey. We don't know what's going on. And I said, no, you're not. You're not sending me home. I'm not going home like this. I'm in excruciating pain. You guys need to figure it out. So you need to put in a room, whatever you call it, put me in the hospital, give me a room because I'm not going anywhere. So they did. And they continued to do tests. They had to double medicate me. I was hallucinating and seeing, I always laugh because I said I was seeing little Spider-Man running through fields. That's how much medication I was on. Whoa. So they couldn't figure out. They had me in there for days figuring out. They're like, okay, well, what we're going to do is take your gallbladder out because it sounds like gallbladder attack, but your gallbladder's fine. When they tested my gallbladder. Jeez. So they're like, oh, let's just go and figure it and take it out and see if that helps. They set up surgery. And when they go inside, it was supposed to be a 45-minute surgery. When the lady, and what's funny is that I go in there and I always tell the story, the doctor, she was a woman, and she goes, before I went in, under, she said, just FYI, you have a full all-woman team working on you today. And I was like, you had no idea how important that is to me.
That's
to me.
Powerful, yeah.
And so then I knocked out. So a 45-minute surgery turned into a 7-hour surgery. So when she went in, she found 15 tumors. So she found a few, sent them to the lab right away, and they came back stage 3 cancer. Stage 3. So 15 tumors inside of me. I had a Powerhouse brunch going on that same day. Okay. So I was in the hospital. My team, my biggest brunch that I had at the Capitol Club was happening while I'm in surgery, finding 15 tumors inside of me. Right. So I didn't even know I was in 7-hour surgery. I came out thinking I still had a 45-minute surgery. I didn't even know about my cancer when I came out. I didn't find out that I had cancer until the next day when the doctors came to check on me and they mentioned it. And I said, wait a minute, what? Cancer? They're like, oh, they didn't tell you they found this. First they said 6. The doctor said 6. My husband knew before I did. Yeah. They called him and told him during surgery or something. He knew before I did. So then when I called him, I told him, did they tell you I had cancer? He's like, yeah. But it broke him down. It broke him down. So stuff like that humbled me too, where it's like, forget all this stuff. Life is so important, and even my husband being like, I value you over any of this crap that you're doing. Like, I don't care. Everybody, oh, Chandra Brooks. Like, he jokes. When people be like, oh, you're married to Chandra. He's like, no, she's married to me. Okay. She's married to me. He just jokes about it. He's like, oh yeah, these ladies just love you. That's a good one. Yeah. He's like, they love you. And they're like, oh my God, oh my God. He's like, she's just my wife. She ain't nobody. But it really broke him down. But it really made me humble myself too, to be like, shoot, I really need to spend more time with family. So I really make it a point now. And like Friday, I shut everything down. Yeah. Before, I'd have meetings Fridays. I'd take calls on Saturdays. I'd do stuff on Sundays. Like, I would always make time for something. But now I shut it down Friday to Sunday to Monday morning. My family has me full time. But now I could really pick and choose what I want to do. If I want to spend the whole day with my son, I can spend my whole day with my son. That's the freedom of entrepreneurship. But I'm more intentional now. Yeah. Just very more intentional now. Yeah. So, like making it work is hard. I think it's really about communicating and understand that our partner is not required to be as ambitious as us, and understanding that and let them be them, but understand like, this is my thing and this is your thing. Yeah. What do you need from me to be a better partner to you? Right. So then we don't break up. If you really want that marriage to work, you got to communicate and you got to understand what they both need. Understand each other's love languages and make sure you do that stuff for them, to keep it good. So I tell people, it's just like, you can't expect them to be who you are. We're all individuals and we're all different people.
It's always tough too, because this past summer, my family went to Cancun. Mm-hmm. They always do a family reunion where everybody goes, my cousins, my aunts, uncles, everybody goes. Mm-hmm. And I stay behind just to work. Mm-hmm. I got to be mindful with what I say yes to and what I say no to.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it comes to like, say, family things, I have to really, really take into that a note, because it's like, I can't lose that. You know, like these things that we're doing, it's great. We love it, but the family is above and beyond everything that we're doing.
For sure.
So it's always a tough balancing that, because everything that we're doing is requiring time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Time is money. It really is. When when you're an entrepreneur, it's like, if I don't work, I don't eat. Yes. Right. If I don't work, I don't eat. So it's tough. It's tough. That's why to me, I feel like you need to learn how to really work the business and understand, like, money making activities is so important. Like, you can't just like be watching YouTube videos all damn day. Like, cause that's not going to get you to where you need to get to. It's like, learn a skill, apply it, do those things. Like, that's why mentorship and coaching is important. Cause like I said, take my speedboat so you don't take the paddle boat, because you'll be paddling your ass for a long ass time, right? You're going to be paddling a lot and trying to figure it out on your own. And why can't I get it? And then you're going to quit because you can't figure it out. Yeah. But if you get the true tried and tested sources and the programs and strategies early on, that's what's helped me elevate and grow. People want to know the secret. I'd be like, coaching, mentorship. That's the secret. Investing in myself. I knew I was the hottest commodity. I knew if I invested in me, that was going to be the best investment than any other. I've gotten more returns on investing in me than any other investment that I've ever done. So why do we go value and invest in a house or invest in a car and invest in jewelry and credit cards and clothes and all these things, but we don't value ourselves and invest in us when we are probably the best investment we could ever make, right? We could ever make. So, it's just so important to learn this skill and to have the skill early on, or you're going to be treading you're going to be treading wheels, trying to figure it out on your own. But if you learn money making activities and that money making skills, then faster you'll make money, right? Like, so now I don't have to waste a whole lot of time. Like when I spend time with family, it's like Friday to Monday morning. But once Monday morning gets here, I'm like zone in. I'm like working. And I go hard. Right. But it's all money making activities. I don't got to do anything else. Right. I just focus on making money. Yes. What am I going to do today that's going to get me there? Like, I'm not going to waste my time doing this. I'm going to waste my time calling different places and making sure we're locking in these contracts for moving forward for our income for of 2024. Like, it's a crucial time right now. So money making activities, that's what you need to be working on in your business constantly, right? In order to continue to make that money. So the sooner you learn that, the more time you can spend with family, the more time you can delegate, like the more contracts I close because I'm really focused and zoned in on making money, the more I could take a day off, more days off later. And I know I'll be able to. I could really control my schedule later because I already locked those in. I'm good. Right. So just like dedicating a certain amount of time to that. But like I said, learning the skill early on how to set up your business properly and having the right team around you. So then okay, how are we every day focused on making money, doing money making activities? And that could be content. It could be whatever, like people don't really think that content is about making money. Yeah, literally. You're like, oh, you're recording all day? Yeah, I'm recording all day. It's important. I'm recording all day. Yeah. It's content. Content sells, right? Content sells. So it's a necessary investment. It's a necessary time and energy that you need to give. Being visible is part of your money-making activities, right? So money-making activities, learning that quickly is important. And
that's a skill that I learned pretty much late in my life. Like I was always saying, like, I am not a tech savvy guy. I am not a audio guy. I am not a editing guy. I wasn't. I had to learn a new skill because in the beginning of a podcast, I was trying to hire somebody to do it all for me. I wanted to be like a Joe Rogan, sit down, just focus on talking, get up and get out. That's it. And then have one producer or two producers handling everything. That's not the case. I learned a new skill. I invested into learning a new skill. And now I've been running this show and another show for over 2 years by myself. And now I delegate with me and my brother because he's a partner with me. It's made this enjoyment much easier because I've always loved what I did. But now when it comes to like delegation, I'm like, don't get me wrong. Do I have to like go and edit this and get it done by Thursday? Absolutely. But I love the process.
Yeah, that's
it's
great.
The best.
Yeah.
And people they see it as a job. They see it as a task where it's like, not a money-making activity. How do you take time off, by the way? Like, I know you said you watch a little bit of TV, like decompress.
Real Housewives.
That's the only way.
No. Yeah. So how do I take time off?
Yeah.
Like I said, the weekends I just shut it down. Yeah. And I really like, it's just been crazy lately. It's like, I just shut it down and I'm like on the couch.
Yes.
And I'm just like, just on the couch with family. I just want my family around me.
Yeah.
I think that the whole cancer scare, scared all of us. So it's just like, I just want my family. I'm a grandma too. I have 3 grandchildren.
Jeez.
So
look, 39.
Thank you. I had 3 grandchildren. So like, having them around me, like I just want family. I just love to be home, just sitting on the couch. Just it. I would like to do more. I like to go places. My husband is a homebody too. So like she will be home all weekend and we don't even care. So, just spending time with family. And that's how I take time off, is really just valuing that more than ever.
I hear stories about that too, where people, they prioritize their business and they wonder why their family relationships is kind of like decreasing. Entrepreneurs, they do have to sacrifice so much, but you have to be very, very mindful on where those sacrifices go, because at the end of the day, you could have that house, you could have the money, but where's the people? Where's the, you have a house, but the people in it make it a home.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think a lot of people are not prioritizing that.
No,
they're like,
they're not.
This comes first, family second.
When you get scares like I did, I think it scared my husband and it scared me.
Yeah. Right.
One, losing me, and then me also, like this could happen to him too.
Yeah.
So I could lose him too. So, like it was just an eye opener. It's just like, life is short. Yeah. We just got news that one of our friends' daughters committed suicide, at a Brigadoon. Are you from here? Do you know Brigadoon Park by Silver Creek High School? At Brigadoon Park. It was just like, life is too short. Like life is too short. You just never know. You got to pay attention to your kids. You got to understand, so but I've been doing that even since my scare. It's like really like understanding my kids and talking to them and what are you going through? And if you don't want to talk to me, let me get you a counselor or let me help you. All that stuff is there. And yeah, entrepreneurship, a lot of people be like, you need to go. Like you have to sacrifice your time. And you see that on social media a lot, right? It's just like, I could either have, you can have all these things or you can have dad at home, right? Like, what do you want? You have to choose. Yeah. And I don't really think you have to do that. You could really you could plan it, like really plan it. It is different, right? Like people think I'm busy all the time. You don't have to be. You could be just doing busy work all damn day, right? And not accomplishing anything. So that's the importance of knowing exactly what you need to be doing in your business so you're not wasting any time. But so then you can spend more time with family. That's the whole purpose behind it. So you can only have to work 2 to 3 days a week and be able to spend the rest of the time with your family, right? Like that's valuable in itself in investing in somebody like me to help you, because I can really teach you that. Like if you really zoned in for 2 to 3 days in the week and said, to this day, I'm going to do this. This day, I'm going to do this. And then the 4 days, you spend time with, do whatever the hell you want. It's possible. But we think we got to work 8 hours plus a week from Monday through Friday. Like that's what we know and that's what we learned, or work or time equals money, right? Like the more time I put in, the more money I'm going to make, because we learn to work hourly. We're learned to trade time for money, an hourly wage. We're programmed for that. So it's really hard to take that out of us, right? And unlearn those things, right? So, you know, we definitely have to, that's not the way it has to be, because at the end of the day, you're getting older, you know, we're getting older. So I don't want to be alone. You know I don't want to be alone. I know my husband didn't want to be alone. People, you know, you need to really understand that and value your people that are in your life right now before it's too late.
You look at all these titans and they didn't follow the norm. They did the opposite.
Yeah.
But why do you think people still believe in the old school method?
Because there's not a lot of people in your atmosphere that are doing it, or in your direct circle, right? That you might be the only person in your family that's doing anything out of the norm. So they're not used to that. They're not used to seeing it. So I don't fault anybody in seeing that and saying stuff like that, because I'm like, that's all they know. So of course this is weird to them. It's crazy to them. They don't know what I do. Everybody's like, what do you do? Like, you have a podcast? Like, do people just, like, even my mom, right? Like, my mom is just like, you know, but just until recently when she said that one day, I was like, this is what I do. I had to really break it down to her, because when somebody would ask, it's like, what does Chandra do? She has a podcast? Like, she goes live all the time. So like, that's how she's making, so they think I'm making money by going live or something. They don't know. People don't know what they don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't care to have to explain to people anymore. We just don't, if this was easy, more people would be doing it. Right? If entrepreneurship and having a vision and big ideas and doing something different was easy, everybody would be doing it, but nobody does, because it's hard. And people are scared. So a lot of people don't move on their vision. A lot of people are living with regret and not doing it. So then they're like mad because you're living your dream and really going after what you want to do, and they never did. So they're mad about that. And, you know, they have always something smart to say or something to say about what you're doing. You know, you're still doing a little business, or you're still doing that, you know, like, are you like, how do you even make money doing that? Yeah. People don't understand. Like, I tell people, you can make money doing anything today. So, you know, like, everything is online. Everything's virtual. You can monetize so many things if you got a skill. Like the model you have here, there's so many people that will pay to come and record here. So then you solve a problem. Yeah. Right? Like, a studio, I don't have to build my own studio. It's local. It's close to me. Like, there's just so many people in San Jose alone that need to record a podcast, right? And you do everything for them. You solve that whole problem. I don't have to get it to that. I don't have to have all kinds of 5 different people working on it. It's a one-stop shop. Yeah. You're solving a problem. So, like, you know, people, I don't care about having to explain myself anymore to people. It's just like, I have a podcast. Yeah, that's what I do. You know, like, it is what you think, whatever you want to think. Yeah. But, you know, when people ask me, I'm a business coach, right? I have a scrub business. That's what I do. Yeah. What does a business coach do? Like, I help women start business from idea, from vision to profitable business. I have programs to help women do that. That's my elevator speech. Yeah. That's all you need to know. You know, they're like, oh, really? People pay for that? I'm like, yeah. You
people pay for poop, like you said.
Exactly. And I always, people pay for poop. They're going to pay for my coaching. I think it's close to value. Yeah. I think so.
Oh my God. Well, Chandra, we hit way over an hour, and I want to be very, very respectful of your time. Yeah, no problem. One of the last things I wanted to ask you, out of all your experience of life, your experience in entrepreneurship, was probably one of the biggest things that you would want to pass down, some valuable wisdom to the aspiring entrepreneurs coming up?
Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Like, we get nowhere alone. Absolutely nowhere alone. So, like, if you truly believe in your vision, like, if it's crystal clear and you could see it, you don't know how you're going to navigate yourself to get there. Get the navigation tools to get there, right? Get everything you need to get there. Get the skill level to get there, right? The vision's there for a reason. just invest in you. You are your hottest commodity. You are your biggest resource. No other investment's going to give a better return other than you. So please, by any means, don't do it alone, because I promise you won't get there by yourself. Like, follow your dreams. And I'm telling you, like, a lot of people don't do it. Be that person that does it. Somebody's waiting on you. Somebody's waiting on you to fulfill that vision, to fulfill that, so then you can inspire them, so then they can go and do it, right? And we're just sitting back and overthinking. Stop overthinking. Okay, the time is now.
Chandra, I've done a podcast in the podcast game for over 2 years, and I'll honestly and genuinely say, like, this is probably one of the most powerful conversations I've ever had.
Oh, thank you.
Like I said, you're a very productive woman, and I genuinely appreciate your time for being here. I look forward to sitting next to you and speaking alongside you next week at the Capital Club.
Yes.
It is a true honor for you to be here. Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. If you got a lot of value out of this, please do me a favor and support our YouTube channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Make sure to hit that follow button on Spotify to stay updated with our latest episodes. If you are listening on Apple Podcast, I would greatly appreciate it if you would leave me a 5-star rating, followed by with a review. Again, thank you all for the support. I'll see you next time. Stay loving, stay hungry, stay excellent.